Hi Aries, thank you for joining me. This is your horoscope for December 2016. On the 3rd of December, Mercury, the planet of communication, moves from Sagittarius in your 9th house and it moves into Capricorn in your 10th house. Now you'll experience this as a big shift. When Mercury is in Sagittarius, it's very much outward looking, and in the 9th house, it's concerned with education and travel and broadening the horizons. So you'll have noticed that over the last couple of weeks, you've been bringing information in, and you become less concerned with that now on the 3rd of December. And you really begin to question, how can I be productive? How can I work? How can I communicate in a professional sense? And the focus becomes your career and what you can create in that area of your life. You have the moon in Capricorn, the planet of creativity, Venus in Capricorn, and Pluto in Capricorn in your 10th house. So as far as your chart is concerned, Aries, you have 4 planets in this 10th house, which makes this the most energized house of your chart. So December is going to be about your career and work and how you can be productive and how you can get things done. On the 8th of December, Venus, the planet of love, creativity and beauty, she moves from that 10th house in Capricorn and she goes into Aquarius in your 11th house. Now, up until the 8th, you have been able to take your own kind of inner vision, your own creativity and make it something productive, tangible, real. And now with Venus going into Aquarius, the focus again shifts and you become more interested in other people. You become focused on your friendships, your connections, your network, and how you can interact with these people in a positive, happy way. Also, 20 degrees away from this Venus is Mars. Mars is the personal planet of drive and desire. Venus is female, Mars is male. When these two come together, in the astrology, they create something new. So this is like a really positive little explosion happening in your 11th house, which means that you're going to become much more interested in your social life and it will become much busier. So it's not just that, it's the Christmas season and there will be office parties and Christmas events, but in general, a lot more people will be appearing in your life and you can really enjoy that and make the most out of it and really be entertained by it. On the 14th of December, we've got the full moon happening in Gemini in your 3rd house at the very bottom of your chart. Now, I'm going to make a separate video on the full moon. The full moon is really a strong energy that influences all of us. In Gemini, it's optimistic, it's positive, it's about walking through new doorways and exploring new things. In your case, it's about feeling expressive and communicative. If you want more detailed information on this full moon, check out that video, the full moon in Gemini. But the way it's going to affect you, Aries, is that out of all of the signs of the zodiac, during the full moon, you will feel very, very expressive and like you need to get something off your chest. So that'll be a strong drive. Don't resist that and see what really needs expressing. If you've been working on a book and you've hit a wall, then this full moon is going to be really positive because you'll have that inner drive and desire to just express something. Now on the 19th of December, a really important thing happens, which is Mercury, the planet of communication, which I mentioned earlier, that goes into retrograde on the 19th of December and it stays in retrograde until the 8th of January. Now Mercury goes retrograde either 3 or 4 times a year, and it's a period of finding alternate ways of getting your point across. So this is a big theme for you here in December. During the full moon, you were expressing yourself. Now on the 19th, Mercury is in Capricorn in your 10th house of career, remember? So you've been busy trucking away, trying to make productive kind of changes in your working life. Now it goes into retrograde. You're going to find that you may have to do things completely differently in your working life. Just looking at the actual dates here, 19th of December, we're coming into the festive season. So it may be that you've got a little bit of time off if you're lucky, or you're continuing to work, but it may be that you're not so busy at work because other people are off doing other things. So either way, this is a really good time to reflect and to find new ways of doing things. If you've had the same kind of template for your contracts that you send out to customers, then maybe it needs updating. Maybe it needs a different way of communicating. Don't be afraid to make changes to the way you communicate during a Mercury retrograde. People often say, oh, my computers are going to blow up and everything, this is in a tangible way in your 10th house. You'll be able to make changes confidently in anything that has to do with your career, and that's for you particularly, Aries. Now, on the 20th of December, Mars begins to conjunct Neptune in your 12th house. You've got a lot going on in this 12th house. You've got Chiron in Pisces, Neptune in Pisces, the South Node in Pisces, and Mars now in Pisces. Mars doesn't particularly like being in Pisces. Mars is your personal sense of drive and desire and getting somewhere, okay? It's just come out of Aquarius, but Mars is about getting things done and not being held up or slowed down in any way. And think of it as a fireball in the sign of Pisces, which is water, feels very uncomfortable. So the drive is kind of like, well, I want to do something, I feel slightly frustrated, but with all of that Neptune energy and the big heavy planet of Neptune now sitting on top of that Mars, Mars is going to feel a little bit threatened and a little bit like I'm out of my depth here, and Mars does not like that. So when Mars and Neptune conjunct here in your 12th, there may be an inner sense of frustration and a resistance of or reluctance to be controlled by other people. If someone comes to you and says, well, this is the way it is, you know, and you should align yourself with that and not ask any questions, you're not going to like that very much. So just be prepared. And from the 21st of December onwards, just realize that if you do have your own way of doing things, your own way that you like doing things, don't compromise too much because it will irritate that Mars, and just be true to yourself and make sure you continue to do things your way. On the 28th to 29th of December, depending on where you are, another really significant thing happens, which is Uranus, which is in your sign of Aries, it goes direct. Uranus is the planet of rebellion and eccentricity and doing things in your own unique way. It's been in retrograde, and it's been a really good time to let go of chaotic circumstances and things that don't work, and now it really slams into its own power, and it really gets going again, and it's in your sign, Aries, in your first house. So here at the end of December, you will feel this huge inner fire bubbling up, this real passion and drive to get going again. So just after the festive season here, you may have reflected and looked at doing things differently. You are now raring to go, and you gallop into 2017 here with all of the energy of the world, of the universe behind you, and you really go for it. So make sure you've got something to work towards, make sure you've got a goal, because you're going to be super focused, and you're really going to go for it all the way. On the 29th of December, we have the new moon in Capricorn. So again, this is something I'll make an in-depth video about to give you all the ins and outs of the new moon. But as far as you're concerned, Aries, the focus and the energy that's going to be kind of drawn in, and that's really going to be revving up your inner engine, has to do with work and what you're going to achieve. So you go into 2017 really thinking, how can I be productive? What can I do in my working life? And how can I achieve things that transform my working life for the better? If you would like a private reading with me to have a look at how these combined energies influence you specifically, then please get in touch with me via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. Click on the readings tab and you can order your reading with me there. Please remember to subscribe to the channel, and I'll speak to you next month.